Lauren, welcome back. Always a pleasure.
Thanks very much.
So you just told me as we were coming, Cameron, you want to work with pain.
Yes.
And you've got is it a dance injury or some kind of back pain?
It's a long-term lower back injury that flares up sometimes. So at the moment it's quite in spasm. So it's
Okay. So I'm not going to do any physiotherapy or medicine. I'm not an expert in working with back pain or anything like that. So I would say do all that. You know, go to the physio, go to the doctors, go to the acupuncturist, whatever you do and believe in, that's fine. And we'll just work with your response to that. Yeah? So sounds like a funny question, other than it hurts, why is it a problem that you have pain?
Because it makes me feel very vulnerable and much less likely to stand my ground in this
What do you do in your forehead when you talk about it? Okay, so there's two kinds of wrinkles people have. Anger wrinkles, anxious wrinkles. Anger wrinkles, anxious wrinkles. Okay, listen, by the time we're 30, most of us do. So it makes you feel vulnerable, and it sounds like you're not in a good way. And then you do what?
I'm much more likely to back away.
To back away?
Yeah.
Flight response,
Yeah.
okay. And
because it's not my usual response.
it's not your normal response, it's fight.
Yeah.
Sounds like you're a little bit judging yourself for that.
Maybe.
What's the, just intuitively, what's the judgment? Let's get it out, like, don't be a pussy, like, what's the thing that's...
No, I think I'm happy with my responses.
You're okay with your responses?
Yeah, I'm
okay.
I think they're quite good.
Great.
Really, but this interferes with it.
This interferes with...
With my usual response to conflict or a situation, it makes me much more likely to be like, okay, just leave me alone,
Okay.
You know,
And that doesn't sound like it's helping you, it's not serving you particularly?
No, not at all.
Okay, great. So I was talking about judging this response, not your normal response.
Oh, okay.
Yeah? So how would you judge this response?
I think it's weak.
It's weak.
I don't want to be perceived in that way.
You're not that person, right?
No.
So this is my intuitive sense, just knowing you a little bit, that actually interferes with your self-image.
Yeah.
So it's absolutely not acceptable because it's like, that's not Lauren.
Yeah.
Tell me if I'm putting words in your mouth here. I want to. Okay, so first thing we need to do here is like, yes, we're going to work with this. Yes, we can reduce it, but allow yourself to be big enough that you can encompass this. What Whitman, I encompass multitudes, or is there a way to be a Lauren who's able to flight as well as fight?
I don't know.
Let's see if you can do it as a choice. Can you just take a step back? All right, as a choice. Does that make sense? Still a little bit tense. Right? Take a step forward. Okay, so think of this as like, do you want Lauren to have more possibilities or be like narrowly constricted in the way you were conditioned as a child? Which one? More freedom or the same Lauren that's always been the case and that always is?
More freedom, but it doesn't come from childhood.
Oh, wherever it comes from. Yeah, that's for therapists. It's none of my business.
Come from a lot of hard work.
Like, okay, so you've worked it through. So even more like, I have worked for this response.
Yeah.
So can you deliberately step back and that be okay? So breathe, say ah, and then deliberately step back. Are you still Lauren?
Yeah.
Are you a terrible, weak, awful human being?
No.
Okay, let's step forwards. Just do a couple of reps of that. Because you can step forwards and fight, and you're fucking good at that, right? But you can also step back. You sure? you're like, maybe. So prove it a couple more times, do a couple more reps. So stepping back. Yeah? Say, I'm Lauren and I love myself as you step back the next one, okay? I'm Lauren and I love myself. Try that.
That one felt better.
Like it's getting better, right?
You.
One more.
I'm Lauren and I love myself.
Okay. Now we're feeling.
Yeah.
Let's get in there. How's that?
Yeah, good.
So we're increasing the range of Lauren.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Lauren can be bigger than simply stand still or fight. Yeah, and can be a choice.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, why did I do all that? Because if you're going into that response, judging it will make it worse.
Yeah.
All right. Next, let's work a little bit with pain. We're not going to work with your back pain because I can't calibrate that and it's not safe.
Yeah.
So I'm going to suggest this pressure point here. So
Yeah.
you know that one?
I know that one.
You know that one? You've done some martial arts and stuff, haven't you, right? Okay, so can you press that to the point where it hurts? Not so it's damaging you, obviously. Okay. Okay, wow, what happens in your face when you press it to the point where it hurts?
I quite enjoy that particular kind of pain.
Quite enjoy that pain.
Yeah.
But, and you can do it so you don't enough so you don't enjoy it.
Okay.
You can do this one if that's less enjoyable as well, like a hook around the jaw. Okay, what are you doing?
Yeah, it hurts now.
Okay, are you backing away or are you coming forwards?
I'm
Are you sure? Keep doing it.
Oh, yeah.
It's slight, you feel that? Slight back away, yeah? Okay, so pressing the pain again. And this time stepping forwards.
Oh, yeah, I didn't like that.
Yeah, took a bit of work, yeah?
Counterintuitive.
Okay, and one more. Notice this eyebrows, that's the back. You see the eyebrows happen?
Yeah.
Feel this. Stand in a stride stance, 1 foot forward. Okay, so if I touch your shoulders, yeah, push forwards. Okay, lift your eyebrows.
I actually can't
Ooh.
go back.
Oh, excuse me, you okay?
No, it's okay, let me do the other foot.
Okay, if it's gonna hurt you physically, let's not.
Okay, not foot, that's fine.
Okay, this is another reason you calibrate. Raise your eyebrows. What happens?
Yeah, you can push me back more.
Gets weaker, right? Paul Linden thing. Okay, so this is a back response. So this time pain. Okay, do it enough so it hurts. You feel that urge to go back. Okay, now step forward. Oh, and again. You always remind me of a lioness. Okay, a little bit of pain. Okay, and step forward. Say ah.
Yeah, I have to like inhale to do it.
Yeah, okay.
It's like the kind of Wim Hof getting in the shower thing. You're like,
Gearing yourself, whoa, okay, gearing yourself up. Okay, one more time.
good.
Okay, and then step back. And then step forward. Okay, so you can be in pain and still have behavioural choice. Okay, step back. Now step backwards and forwards as you like, so you're in charge. Off you keep going. And keep calibrating the pain so it's difficult but not overwhelming. Yeah? Okay, and how would we do that conversationally? So you're in pain, we're having a conversation. How would you step forwards conversationally?
You asking me to say words, or you
Yeah, say words, use words.
about a situation?
Anything.
Or what
Yeah, so you're in pain, what's a situation you're concerned you'll respond badly to?
Yeah, I don't really want to talk about this right now.
Okay, and stepping forwards.
I don't really want to talk about this right now.
Okay.
I don't really want to talk about this right now.
Okay, so you can be in pain and still do that forwards response
Yeah.
and the backwards response.
I don't want to talk about this right now.
Okay, and relax your hands, give them a little shake. You don't need to do it all the time with that because you'll have your back pain to work with, right? So it's quite sophisticated what we've just done. What have you just learned?
That was really interesting. Lots of things. What have I just learned? Particularly with the eyebrows and like understanding the more subtle things that you don't necessarily notice which are also signals that you give out to other people as well. So
what have you learned about
that?
Yeah, so being able to control that fight-flight response in response to pain, which will reduce pain straight away, right? So this is a way of reducing whatever the pain is, whether it's back pain, period pain, you get your arm chopped off, whatever, yeah? And what have you learned about your behavioural aspect here?
I think I've learned that, so there's certain things that I can recognise. So that feeling of like hurting and going forward and doing it anyway, there's like a moment of preparation when you're like, okay, we can do this. And I wouldn't normally have considered that, but now that's a state that I recognise. So
okay, great.
Realise when it's necessary and be like, okay, we're going to have to do this now, Lauren, and step into a situation.
Great, so going,
I don't want to because it hurts.
I'm in pain, but I'm still going to step forward. I'm still going to show up. I don't have to back off. Yeah? And range of Lauren. So this is the one that might be a bit of a head fuck, so you might want to just chill out a little bit before you head off. This is our last session, but it's just like let it integrate before trying to do live. So Lauren has a certain range, and you say, this is Lauren, this is Mark, right? So what have we just done with that? Bit bigger. What's the new possibility for Lauren? What's that mean? What's the new possibility?
I have more options, more tools.
Okay, what's the new option?
The new option is that even in pain, I can move deliberately forward into something.
You've forgotten the other new option.
And the other is that I can, altogether.
Yeah,
is that I can step back. I can just allow myself to not.
Okay, that one might need a bit of reinforcing in another coaching session, but we've opened up a possibility there. Lauren, thank you so much. Beautiful work, good work. Okay, really interesting coaching session. So working with pain and response to pain. What I realized sort of intuitively, and some stuff's hard to teach as an embodiment coach, is she was judging herself for moving back, which actually was making it worse because the judgment adds to the pain, then it becomes more painful emotionally and physically. Yeah. So we were building her range of what is allowed as a Lauren, what is allowed as a human. And you could see that open up. She actually forgot it again at the end. That's quite common. People need like reminding of their new possibility. I think it's another one of those sessions where I go, okay, we've opened, like with the one with Diana before, we've opened up something new that might need a bit more work. And then we also worked with this just being able to step forwards when she's in pain, so giving her something practical. Obviously, we used a simulator for the pain, not the actual pain. I actually did make a mistake I forgot she was her back pain when we did this pushing exercise. Somehow it just went out of my mind. Luckily, I always do that very gently and then increase, so she had space to say, hey, this isn't actually a good idea, and change the footing. So good that she looked after herself. And I think it's a good example, again, of why physical calibration is really important. Also, in terms of limits of expertise, I'm like, look, I'm not a physio, I'm not a doctor. We're just working with a somatic response to that, which I was happy with. So some ethics in there as well. And again, lots of consent and calibration, basic ethical principles.